Hello, everyone, and welcome to Edge Talk Radio. So, my name is Angela Zabel. That's me. And today is going to be all about setting your energetic template for 2026 with shaman healer Carla Fox of Utah. She is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get into it today. And I'm going to say for all of you out there, this is going to be a different sort of journey. Make sure to have a pen and paper handy if you want. Take notes if you want, because it's going to be an interesting day to set your new energy for 2026 because 2026 is going to be a little different than other years. So, who am I? My name is Angela Zabel. I have connected to spirit, working with the team in the non-physical my entire life. I'm sharing messages from a multitude of realms with people. I'm a teacher, coach, medium, radio show host, retreat host, writer, gallery reader, and doing speaking engagements, offering guidance, mediumship, intuition with online, private, and group sessions, and also classes and the Amplified Universe monthly membership group. This is growing our connection to us, our world, all that is around us, and our role in it. And you can find out more about me at angelazabel.com and pretty much all the social media out there. And today I'm going to try to get this centered. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can get it centered correct. There we go. So today we're here with Edge Magazine. It is the leading events and media resource dedicated to aspects of holistic living, health, wellness, and the mysteries beyond, sharing information, wisdom, and resources, committed to promoting businesses, organizations, and individuals who support our collective journey to wholeness and balance. They're currently distributed in 30 states and Canada, with 17,000 magazines per printing and a vibrant online magazine with over 42,000 people reached per month. Have the magazine shipped to your door, stay up to date with the newsletter, become a drop spot, and watch Kelly Wagner on the Being Curious show, which is also part of Edge Magazine. You can find out more at edgemagazine.net. And today we are here with Carla. Carla has spent the last 25 years as an energy healer, first in the Peruvian shamanic traditions, and all this time, and then she's been utilizing her quantum sphere healing technique, which she created in 2012. And throughout all of this time, her goal has been to empower people in their awakening and spiritual evolution. Her expertise with clients involves getting them unstuck so they can move forward. And in addition to getting them back into their bodies and clearing away any dark energies they may be carrying, she has her healing practice. She's taught numerous workshops, trained many people, and also teaches. This is her other one, is the Shamanic Death Rites to assist deceased loved ones to move on if they're stuck after they pass. And her current passion is her own spiritual evolution, facilitated in part by the numerous trips to the megalithic and highly energized archaeological sites around the world. And she is a world traveler, always on the go, and she has so much more coming forward. And I've got to say, I can't wait to get into it today with Carla. And if you're looking at booking a quantum sphere healing session or talking to her, seeing what else she has available, you can go on to the quantumstargate.com is her website. She also has her blog, the Carla Fox blog, blogspot.com. And all those information, the links to that will be down below. And she is also has, I saw on her website, she has the Tools of Transformation downloadable workshop available on there for those of you who are interested. There's so much more. You definitely want to get on her website and check her out. And Carla, thank you so much for coming here today, for being part of this, because it is so fun to have you on.
Oh, well, thanks, Angela.
Absolutely. And I know you've been into this energetic healing for a while, but how did you, and your trips, you go to high energy space places all around the globe.
Yes.
What got you interested in energy to start?
Gosh, I was at a transition place in life and just kind of fell into training with the Four Winds Society, the Shamanic, and that's kind of where I started. Although I realized I had been sensitive and intuitive my whole life.
Yes.
And the journeying that we do as shamanic practitioners came very easy to me. Um, And so that went on for a number of years. I had gone to Peru several times to study with the shamans down there.
Nice.
And of course, Peru, talk about high energy locations. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
I like to say anyone who visits Peru, even as a tourist, comes back changed, whether
Oh,
they know it or not, because they're visiting all these high energy locations. So
nice.
I've been to Peru 5 times actually. I think I'm finished with Peru actually.
You've
But
gotten what you needed out of Peru.
I did. And, Machu Picchu, for example, the first time I went with a group, you could go there at night. We had ceremony.
Mm,
Um, they shut that down shortly after we were there. And as the years have gone by, it's become more restrictive. Now they have 4 designated pathways that you have to take through the site, and they're roped off. You can't wander around anywhere. It's really restrictive compared to the free form that I experienced in 2001. Um, but the only reason I went back a couple years ago is we did the northern coast, the mochi culture, and I had not been there before, and that's fascinating in itself. Yeah.
and that's something with you. You are one that's very free flowing in your life. And so I can see where those type of restrictions would be so much fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you
Well,
had to recommend for someone some places in Peru, what would you recommend?
Well, the Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, it's still good, even though it's kind of restricted. There's a lot of people go to Cusco and just do Cusco for a week. There are sites all around Cusco. Um,
Nice.
Cusco, Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, yeah. Lake Titicaca. Oh, I love Lake Titicaca.
Mm. So what is it about Lake Titicaca that you like?
Well, it's high elevation. We stayed in an eco lodge on the island of the sun, and that was
Mm.
about 13,000 feet up. A little bit hard, and no one slept well because there was not enough oxygen. But it's just a magical place. There's all kinds of stories about UFOs coming out of the water, the island of the sun, high energy, where they would do ceremonies. I also camped on the island of the moon during one trip. Just being by the water is very energizing for me also. And Copacabana is the town there, but that's on the Bolivian side. Cute little town, wonderful cathedral. So there's a lot there. There's a lot in Peru. But for a traveler who's just going and doesn't know much about energy, I recommend that you just tune in. Get to these places. It's obvious where it all is, and just relax and absorb it all, and you'll come home changed.
I love that.
Yeah.
And we were talking ahead of time because Carla's just so fun to talk to. But we were talking too about there's so many of the places around the earth that we're drawn to for vacationing and different sites. It's
Mhm.
for a reason. We as people, as humans, already know that there's a reason that we're drawn to it. It's high energy spaces.
Yes. And keep in mind, you can find a high energy spot anywhere.
Mm.
It can be on a hiking trail, it can be in your backyard. Um, and if you're kind of tuned in and just paying attention to how your body feels, and or maybe going through a wall of sorts of energy, they're all over the place. And you may not have to travel and spend a lot of money to go to these spots.
Absolutely. And even, as simple as you may look at it as simple, but parks, regular, city, county parks, trails, and national parks, state parks, all of these, they're chosen to be there for a reason. There is energy there. So it's easy to tap into, like you said, you don't have to go around the world. But if you
Right.
want to, Carla is amazing to go around the world. Absolutely do it. But
Yeah.
for those who don't travel as much, you can do it here. And I keep hearing from my team, it's also realizing because a lot of times when people have younger families and kids, it's hard to get everywhere all around the world, be a world traveler. But you can do it out in your yard, out in the woods, out on a trail. You're going to make those connections the same.
Yeah, and with this most recent winter solstice, I went to a location where a sacred spot, for example, and there were families with little kids there, and I thought, how cool that the parents are exposing the children to sunset on the winter solstice and the sun kind of beaming out. I thought
Oh,
that was the two families with a whole bunch of little kids were there. Yeah,
that is amazing. I love that because really all of this energy is really shifting and more families are including their families with it. It's making such a big difference. So what a beautiful, beautiful way. And I've been noticing too, a lot more families are getting involved in, you know, hiking, going to parks, doing all that. But they're also doing it on an energetic way of, noticing the sunsets, noticing the
right.
solstices, noticing the different, astrological events that have been happening in the sky and being part of that. That's so, so important going forward.
And that's out there and it's free for everybody. And you don't need any special skills. All you have to do is just recognize that that's going on and observe it and kind of absorb that energy. It's there for everybody.
And I love the fact, like with you, you let people know, like this can be done. You don't have to be trained to sit and go to a summer solstice to know how to do it. You can
Right.
just go observe, you to watch the night sky. You don't need training. You don't need to learn how to do it. Just go
Yeah.
enjoy it, be part of it. That's so important. So important going forward.
And that's what the ancient people did.
Hmm.
That's the culture they lived in, where everyone lived that way. Of course, there were no city lights. Everybody could see the planets and the stars and the Milky Way. We've lost that so much. Just the places to go to see that and the the desire to observe that. Um, and I think it's nice that people are exposing their children to that so that they grow up with that mode that they can look up and see certain things going on.
I think that's what's so important is seeing and recognizing we are getting back to more of that. We are recognizing we are part of such a bigger universe than what we may have been told growing up.
Right.
And because of that, our world is opening up in so many different ways.
Mm.
So many different ways it's opening up. And that's something you have been doing is opening up other people to what's
Mhm.
there in the universe. And you started out, you have did the quantum sphere healing. What is that about?
Um, in 2012, pardon me, 2010 to about 2013, I took 8 classes at the Monroe Institute, which focuses on altered states of consciousness. And during one of those classes, the general format for the quantum sphere healing showed up. They weren't teaching it, but I used what they were teaching in that class. My guidance came in really strongly that says, this is your next step. And so I created my new healing modality. The shamanic was starting to be a little bit slow and tedious for
Hmm.
my vibrational level. I needed something that was higher. And so with this process, um, the first part of it, I call in my higher self and the client's higher self, and they direct the whole thing. The first part, I send a multidimensional healing orb through the etheric patterning of their body from the top down, clearing that out. And the second part, I go up into their quantum sphere, which looks like a giant hot air balloon. And I
Hmm.
give the higher selves their issue, and they pull out the mosaic tiles, the tiles from the quantum sphere related to the client's issue. I realized early on that I cannot do that because that's infinite. Quantum, that's
Hmm.
everything all about the client. And so I asked the higher selves to pull out that information. I gather that information, dissolve those tiles, put positive qualities up into to fill in those blank spots. And then the client works with a list of their new positive qualities.
Oh.
So it is as if, and I don't allow people to take notes or record because that's gone. Everything that came out during the session is gone, and their focus is on the new positive qualities grounding,
Mm.
expanding, and moving forward from that point. And so that's much higher vibrational modality than the shamanic that I was doing. And so that's what I do, to this day.
I love that. And I love the fact that you're talking about when you're moving through something, you've already moved through it. You're done with it. It's not
Yes.
there anymore. Move yourself forward. Go to what's coming up next for you. And that's really it's interesting because I've been feeling for a long time that there's been a lot of big shifts going on. A lot of people that are awakening to be part of that shift, like you, awakening to go, okay, I didn't know I was going to be part of this shift, but here I am, and let's go for it now. But then you're doing it in your way, and you're going, whatever was past is past. It's gone.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
move forward from here
Yeah.
because this new energy that we've been into for a while
Right.
is an energy that you don't need to continue to go back on the past. You
Hmm.
can let it go, move forward, and create something different because honestly, I think we've been in that cycle of reviewing the past for so, so long.
Right.
And now we're moving beyond it into this newer energy. And as you've been doing that, have you, even in this last year, have you seen or felt a difference in the energies that you've been working within or observing compared to now going forward?
Um, I'm getting a lot of clients with heavy duty
Mm,
issues that they've been carrying for years, and sometimes it's psychological. Um, and they've been dragging that along their whole lifetime. And I
mm,
think this is time now for people in whatever way they can to let go of that really old baggage.
yeah.
So I've seen that for sure. Me personally, I have felt several times when I made a definite jump up in level or jump up in vibration. Um, Sometimes it's related to a place where I am.
Mm,
And I know I talked to you over a year ago, Angela. I felt I walked through a portal.
yes.
When I was
Yes.
hiking up at 11,000 feet, one minute I'm walking along, next minute I'm flat on the ground. It was like there was no in between.
Yeah.
And you know how when something's happening, it's like in slow motion, you feel yourself falling or you see the car coming. It was like, here I am, and boom, there I am on the ground. So, and I've experienced similar things a couple of times where it's a sudden
Yeah.
jump up. And I like to think other people are experiencing that too, but they may not know what it is. And so they're questioning and they're wondering and they're um, just not knowing or thinking there's something wrong with them. And I can help those folks with, when I work with them doing a healing session.
And that's important to know because, there are times where it is something physical is going on with you, but other times, especially lately, and I'll agree, there's been a lot of people energetically I've been working with that energetically it's very quick shifts where you're like,
Yeah,
man, is there physically something wrong with me? Is there something I need to take care of? And then just stopping for a moment and going, okay, what can I do to just find my calm and my center and
right,
observe it differently and talking with Carla to get that information out there to go, hey, can you help me understand what's going on? And sometimes it is physical and you need help,
right,
physical help.
right. Because if people aren't used to moving through their issues, they tend to get stuck. And that's where I can help them, get them unstuck, give them some homework, get them moving forward. But I think in general, if people can adopt the attitude that, okay, this happened, maybe something to learn from it, and then just move forward from there. Don't get stuck in it. Don't think about it. Don't work it through your brain. Just say, okay, this event happened and let's keep going.
And that's something important is like you help people to move through that. You help people to kind of evaluate what they've been going through, evaluate how to move forward, and giving them steps to move forward. That's
Yeah.
so important, especially going forward. I don't know about you, but I just feel like 2025 moved pretty fast. I think 2026 is on light speed going forward.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm detecting a lot of light energy, and it's not going to be as much of the up and down that we had in 2025. It's going to be smoother, but elevated. And
Yeah.
so you don't want to get stuck anywhere along that path. The key is let it go and keep moving because the human tendency on a higher level is this gradual elevation and moving upwards and elevating the frequency. And so you want to keep that momentum going. Don't get stuck in anything. Um, let it go and move on.
And I feel like where you were talking about how the energy and everything is moving forward, moving on that steady upward trajectory, higher elevated
Yeah.
energy going forward into 2026. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable for people
Yes.
because you're just not used to it.
Yeah.
And to know it is moving so very quickly. And as we move quickly through this new energy, it's also knowing you're going to be okay and you are elevating yourself. We are all, not only like you and I working through this, we're working through the energy. We understand it maybe more than other people, but a lot of people that are listening, they also understand energy or they're learning about it. And it's knowing that energy is here for us to navigate through and to elevate and change our frequency, change our vibration.
Mhm.
And I keep getting I keep getting nudges from my team on the other side. So
Good.
Carla and I, before we got on, were talking about and she had brought up like UFOs, and we were talking about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and the moving between dimensions, the quickening, how they can move quickly between dimensions. And this is kind of something similar, I feel, for us. We're learning to navigate those dimensions. And what's your thought on that, Carla?
Wow. Well, and sometimes it can happen and you don't know it happened until you
Uh,
hop into the other, over onto the other side. Uh, Not a lot of people on Earth are used to working their own energy and paying attention. So it's going to happen to people who have no clue as far as what they just jumped into. And I don't know what to say about that. I think on the downside, it might lead to a lot of unwanted psychological issues
yeah.
that get triggered with people just because they don't know. Um, but for those of us who do, again, it's like surfing a wave. Just keep on with it. If you sense you've jumped into another realm or another frequency level, don't question it, just go with it. And it doesn't mean it's going to be smooth. It
Yeah.
could kick up a health issue, an emotional thing. Um, if a person is used to working their own stuff, they can work their way through it.
And that's important too, what you just said, how when you're working through these energies, as you're elevating your energies, as all of us are elevating our energies, increasing that energy level. As we do that, it may kick up things from the past. It may kick up a health issue that's been underlying, kick up an emotional issue that's been underlying. But the thing is, they keep showing me like walking through dirt and the dust is kicking up in front of you. It's knowing when you're walking through that to know by doing so, you're exposing what was there that had been holding your energy lower
Yeah,
without you even realizing it. And now you can move through it, you can recognize it, move through it, and move through it quickly. And there's people like Carla and other people here who are here helping people to move through those transitions quickly versus that long road like it used to take. And
yeah,
I don't know, I'm going to speak for myself. I don't know about you, Carla, but sometimes it felt like a very long road on this road of just understanding who you are and awakening to energy and understanding it and navigating through it. And it's so nice to have people that have already done that, like you have already done that and are moving through it and can help others move through it so much quicker, giving a hand up, showing them which way to walk, and then letting them walk. And that's something you've been doing. You've been showing people how to navigate through it, do it quickly, and get on to the rest of it and let the rest go.
And I think just at a basic level, one's philosophy about life, whether they know how to do any meditation or anything, that there's a plan for all of us created by our higher aspects.
Yeah.
Life isn't always going to be pleasant. There's a reason difficulties come along. And yet, and of course, there are no victims. Everything that happens is part of our plan. If every person can acknowledge that and own that, it helps going through the difficulties a lot easier. Like, oh yeah, so this is what I'm supposed to learn from this, and we'll just go through it. It's part of my plan, and you just move on.
And you said something so important. There are no victims. And that is so important for people to hear. But that also means you have to take responsibility for being in relationships that maybe aren't serving you as well, for experiencing certain things, is going, okay, I came here to experience this. I'm not a victim of it. I'm going to be learning something from it and moving my way through. But that is sometimes a very hard pill to swallow, to
Is
say I'm not a victim of anything.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that goes maybe go back to family conditioning. You know, what we learn as children within our family unit, what our parents taught us. But the victim deal is a hard one for a lot of people, especially people who've had a lot of difficulties.
Yes. And that's something I think that may be sometimes, I don't know, I hate to use the word hardest, sometimes the most challenging thing for people to move through is recognizing you're not a victim, take ownership for what happened,
Right.
accept it and move forward from there, but don't do the self-criticism, because when go into victimhood and we try to move out of it, sometimes we do the self-criticism, and that's not helping anybody. And
Right.
as you've been working with people, have you seen a shift well, we talked a little bit in this last year how things are shifting a little bit with people, what they're moving through, and you tune into the energy of 2026. And what have you felt differently with 2026 versus 2025?
Yeah, and again, it feels a lot smoother. But again, that's from my perspective.
Right.
May not be the case for everybody, but I think things are really going to settle down in 2026. Not that they're going to be less crazy, but I don't think we're going to see the roller coaster ride, which throws people off quite a bit. When things are smoother, then they're more likely to get down to their own business because they're supported a lot better.
Yeah.
But 2026 is also numerologically a number one year, meaning new beginnings. Um, I shouldn't say taking control of yourself, but recognizing who you are and what you can do, and being on a planet that is also moving forward in a dynamic way. And so that's going to support everyone. But it really feels like, I like to look at the year as like a graph, a line. And this year it's a straight line with a slight angle up,
Yeah.
as opposed to last year where there was a lot of up and down. Um, So I think in spite of what may be happening politically, globally, I think people are going to be more supported this year.
I love that. And I too have been feeling the more balance going through it. Even though, like you said, it's going to be a little crazy out there, looking at the world as a whole. But if you find your balance here on the inside and you find that balance in your soul, it's just a steady trajectory up. The other doesn't affect you. Oh, and my team is saying this is also part of victimhood. You know you're not a victim anymore, so it doesn't affect you like it did in the past. And so
Right.
many people are moving through that. And it does, for me, it feels so much more calmer. And even though I know the outside world's going to have a lot of things, that's the transition the outside world's doing. But I'm feeling a lot of people are finding that calm and that peace within themselves and elevating their energy in ways that just hasn't been done in the past.
Yeah, yeah. And that's part of my job when I work with a client is exactly that. Help them let go of what was happening in the past and move forward in a new balanced way.
Love that. Love that. And so I've got to ask, do you want to go into your setting the energetic template for 2026 yet, or do you want to go into some other stuff a little deeper first?
Well, I'm ready to jump into the setting your template because a lot of what, at least this first part, is going to help people with what we were just talking about too.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. I will let you take it away.
Angela. All right, so this little workshop here has two parts. And if everyone can get two or three pieces of paper and a pen, and I know Angela mentioned that beforehand. And again, you can just listen to this workshop and repeat it later or go along with me. Certainly, if you're driving in a car, I don't want you to, that's always the warning. Do
Good
not.
warning. Good warning.
So, this first bit, we're going to write two lists. One will be releasing what didn't serve you in 2025, and the other list will be what is your positive outcome for 2026. You can use, when I do this, I write on one piece of paper, the release on one side, the outcome on the other side. You can do two different pieces of paper if you like. Um, this you can do anytime, but I especially recommend this for solstice and equinox, perhaps New Year's Eve, perhaps on your birthday, significant time, or any time during the year when you feel the past stuff is loading up on you. So this is a really easy exercise to move that out and bring something else in. So let's talk about the first list you're going to do, things you are releasing. And for our purpose here is what did not work for you in 2025. Now, I'll go through this slowly, but don't feel you have to finish the whole thing while I'm talking. You can start it, you get the general idea. So on the top of your piece of paper, you want to write, I release. So examples, you're going to write a list. So these could be health issues, finances, any traumatic event, an accident, any kind of a violent something, relationship issues, job issues, housing. And I know another hallmark of what's been going on lately, people are moving around all over the place.
Yes.
In some areas, it's difficult to find suitable housing too. So any housing issues or issues with the suitability of your house, any, lingering repairs that were going to be expensive, um, any habits and patterns. So that could be eating, anything you do habitual, over shopping, overspending, especially, from the holidays.
Towards Christmas, that happens.
Um, and anything emotional, psychological. So this could be quite a list. And don't feel you have to finish this today. You can sit with this until you feel it's complete. But anything that you want to let go of from 2025, maybe even prior to that, that goes on the release side of your list.
Can I ask a question, Carla?
Yeah.
Does that also include not only for yourself, but maybe some patterns within your family?
Um, it would if it's how you react to the pattern in your family.
Got it.
Uh,
Got
remember, we're not changing anybody else, but
Right.
we have reactions to those things that maybe we're not the nicest, and you want to you know, let go of how you reacted and acted with another person.
Got it.
We're all 50-50 in any relationship issue. So they may be doing something, but you're reacting to it. That you're that 50%. So you can
because
50% of what it is. Yes.
we're no longer victims either.
To us. Um, before I go on to the next piece, remember that a plan is made before you come in. Everyone you're going to interact with is part of your plan. And so if there's a distressing interaction, you and the other person have planned that.
Yes.
That's that's another mature way of looking at interactions with other people. We planned this before we came in. And what is my 50% and how can I change that? So that can go on your release list.
Love it. Thank you for that clarification. I kept hearing my team was niggling. They're like, we need to cover this a little bit.
Why? Well, and this all is about taking responsibility. Releasing, how did I participate in this thing that happened to me or around me, and taking responsibility for that and releasing that.
Got it.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you.
So some of you might have quite a list. If you do, if you one piece of paper on both sides for your release, go for it. We're in a high energy time starting at the beginning of this year. And so your release and positive outcome and your intent really carries a lot of weight. So just go for it. And again, as I said, you can leave your piece of paper out on the counter. More things will show up that you can put on your list. So don't feel you have to do this right away now.
Got it.
Um, Yeah, and I've got here, own your own issue. It's not what the other person did to you, it's how you reacted to it.
Got it.
And that may not be the most productive, nicest way to deal with things. And you want to put that on your release list.
I think it's a very good explanation, not what they did to you, but what you can go from there. How
Yes.
did you put it? Say that again, just so
Not what the other did to you, but how you reacted to it.
got it.
That's the only thing you can change.
Right.
Got clients who carry on about another person, and I have to keep pulling them back to themselves. It's not about them. It's about you, how you're reacting, how you're feeling about it. That's the only thing that we can change.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, your other list is what is your positive outcome? And so if you really want to work this, go item by item with what you released and put a positive on your positive outcome. Relate it directly to what you've released. Don't make a blanket statement, I have good health and I get along with everybody. I mean, that's require a lot of introspection.
A little deeper this time.
Deeper than that. Um, so you can go through the same categories, the same items for your release, and do a counterpart. What is your positive outcome? And choose the highest and best outcome, even if you don't think you could have that.
Hmm.
Go for the best because that's what the universe will deliver to you. Not a mediocre positive outcome. It's the best outcome.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. And again, don't rush this. I'm assuming those of you listening took notes and started on your lists. You can complete them at any time. Once you're done, burn your paper outside, um, which may be difficult for Angela in the frozen Northland.
Depends if the wind isn't blowing too much and it's not below zero.
Um, but don't burn it in a fireplace. You want the ashes to go. It's like you're offering the ashes to the Earth Mother.
Got it.
I wouldn't recommend it even doing it in an outdoor barbecue. Just you and your paper and a match and out on the ground and let the ashes blow away. You're feeding the Earth Mother with your intent. So within 24 hours of completing your list, burn it outside. You don't have to wait till it's dark. With my shamanic training, everything happened in the dark. You don't have to wait till it's dark outside. Um, done. Yeah.
I love the fact that you're also saying like you've had training in other areas and saying that, you have to do what feels right for you and it doesn't have to be a certain way. You can take that and change it up to what feels right for you, using your intuitive side to what feels right for you.
Mhm. Well, and when I do this for solstice and equinox, I do an actual shamanic ceremony when I'm burning my list, and I do a bowl burning, a metal bowl with Epsom salts and alcohol. And I call in the directions and my helpers, and so it's more of a shamanic thing. If you know how to do that, you can do that. But otherwise, just setting it on fire. Um, be careful if you're in a fire-prone area. That's another concern, you know.
Yeah.
Careful. But yeah, the ashes go back to the earth.
Love that.
All right, now we're getting to the meat of the matter here. Setting your energetic template for 2026. So the template is going to be your highest destiny. We're not looking for um, a more of a earthly thing like a new house, more money, a relationship, because your higher aspects actually know exactly what your highest destiny is,
Mm.
2026. And they're going to play a part in this whole process. You are just making it real for you by going through this,
Love
the,
it.
what we're going to do here in a minute.
Mm.
Um, so, what is a template? It's a pattern or a framework or a map. Now, everything in the physical came from a template at a higher dimension. So, our body has a template. The chair has a template. They don't just appear out of nowhere. There's a pattern that starts at the very highest level, source perhaps, and as it comes down, it's made manifest into the physical world. And so that's the principle we're working with today. We're going to take you up to a high frequency location to grab your template.
Love that.
And again, your intent is just my highest destiny. You don't need to know what it is. It will show up during this exercise. Um, because we can lead a mundane life, but we want to lead a life that's more than mundane. We want that our destiny to be vibrant and exciting and take us places. That's the destiny that we're looking for today. And it's out there. All those levels are out there. We want to grab the highest frequency one. Okay. So your greater self knows what this is and actually will assist in the process. So greater self, I mean your higher self, your oversoul, your source, your monad, all of those. They all know, and they're going to be assisting here today. Because your template already exists outside of time and space,
Love that.
where your higher aspects reside. And it's a matter of grabbing it and bringing it in a concrete way for you. Okay, so we're going to just set a general intent, show me my highest destiny for the year of 2026. Don't be specific. I will guide you to the level where the template will be created. And then I'm holding space for everybody at the same time.
Mm.
So everyone listening to this, whether it's the day it comes out on YouTube or wherever, my intent is to hold a higher vibrational space for everyone doing this process, no matter when you listen to it. And by the way, you can, uh, I like to do this at the beginning of the year, but there are some people who do it several times during the year. Repeat the process and bring that template in.
Is this also like, say you feel yourself going through a big shift in your life, where you can also use this after a big shift or something that's coming in?
Yes, that and in addition to the release and positive outcome, because the shift may cause something that maybe doesn't feel right to you, the body reacts, changes a relationship. So I recommend you do the release and positive outcome list burning before you do the template again. But that's a good question. Yeah. If people experience enough of a shift, you're a new you. You're a different you. And so your destiny may be a little bit different. Yeah.
That I love how you just said that. Your destiny may be different as you change your vibration and who you are.
Don't overwork it though. You know, this is not like a monthly thing that you're going to do.
Yes.
How that would work. Um, but in my healing practice, I do this the very last thing for every client. I go up to the level where I grab their template for perfection.
Nice.
I bring that down and install that into their energy field. It's like the frosting on the cake. So every client I work with gets this. It's a different twist on this, but it's it's who they were before they started dropping down in density and things started happening. You know, they started living in the world of polarity and uh, whatever. So that gets done for every client. It's kind of a version of this.
Love that.
Um, okay, so you'll need another piece of paper for this, and hopefully you can get enough of a sense of your template to do a little sketch at the end. And that's
Nice.
what, so you don't forget what it was. Now, I will lead the journey. Don't worry if you don't think you're getting anything. You are getting it totally. Some people may fall asleep. And of course, this is being recorded. You can re-listen to this anytime, but
Yes.
just kind of relax and go with the flow with this. You're getting it on some level. And of course, your higher aspects are participating along with you. And they, of course, know what it is right off the bat. They know what they're doing.
Love it.
Start our journey. So, comfortable position with your feet flat on the floor. You can lie down if you like. And I'm holding a bubble of higher dimensional energy around the whole group and everyone that will be listening to this in the future. So take a few deep breaths and just relax, calm down, and anchor your grounding cord from your tailbone straight down into the center of the earth. Make sure you are firmly attached to the earth mother. There you go. And then with a couple of fingers, tap the center of your chest, wake up that area where your core essence is. And it's like a golden nugget that wakes up, and with your breath, you're going to expand that like you're blowing up a balloon until your body is totally encased in that higher dimensional globe of energy. So breathe in and out and expand. One more time, breathe in and out and expand. So I'm holding this bubble for the whole group, and this is your personal higher dimensional bubble. All right, let's start with your intent, and you can repeat after me either verbally or silently. I intend to receive the template for my highest destiny in 2026. And just hold that intent. All right, so in front of you is an elevator with the door open. Step in and turn around. Next to the door is a row of buttons. They are all blank except for the one at the top that is labeled T. Now that might mean top, it might mean template. Press the T and watch the door of the elevator close. And almost immediately, you feel the elevator starting to go up. You've all been in elevators, you know that feeling. And this one starts to accelerate as it goes up. You can feel your physical body dropping away, dissolving, but almost a floaty feeling inside that elevator. When it reaches the top, it'll slow down a little bit and stop. And the doors open. And you step out. Look around. You are in a realm filled with higher vibrational, intelligent energy. It is clear, it is clean, it's pure. And just take a moment to feel this. Intelligent energy pulsating, moving around. And again, in this field of intelligent energy, state your intent once again. I intend to receive the template for my highest destiny in 2026. Just send that intent out there. Suddenly, a barely perceptible outline of a shape appears before you. And see it or sense it. This outline is created by very thin strands of luminescent, intelligent energy. And just give it a chance to form. Threads of light creating a shape. This is your template. It is being created by your higher aspects who know exactly what your highest destiny is. So get a good look or an impression. For those who aren't visual, get a sense for what this outline is, what this template is. It could be a symbol, an object, a word, even an animal, like a power animal, a deity. Take the first thing you get. Don't let your mind interfere with the template. Take the first thing you get. Now, as you are watching, tiny particles of intelligent energy start to stick to the threads of the template, fleshing it out, making it glow and pulsate so that it comes alive. It's starting to become solid. And as you observe this template starting to become solid, you realize it has a fully manifested consciousness of its own. It is a conscious energy. Again, see it or sense it if you're not that visual. But it is pulsing, it is alive, it is conscious. Now, ask for any messages that this template has for you. And again, take the first thing you get. Now, this next step is very important. Express gratitude and appreciation for what has been created for you. And quite often that comes from the heart. Gratitude and appreciation alone elevates energy. And I can see that by sending this out, your higher aspects are also responding in kind. They are appreciating that you appreciate what they have brought to you. So it's like gratitude and appreciation going both ways. It's almost like a little party going on at this point. Everybody loving everybody. And so know that you will remember the messages and what your template looks like. Now, this next step, I want you to reach out with your physical hands, not energy hands, physical hands, and reach out and grab that template and squish it down a bit so that you can hold it in your hands. With your physical hands, pull that template towards you, pulling it in, and firmly press it into your heart. And hold your hands there. You may need to press kind of hard so that that whole template enters your body and your energy field. Keep your hands pressing that template in while you feel in your body any changes. Now take a deep breath. And make sure you absorbed the whole template into your heart. So you might feel a buzz, a hot flash, vibration, a warm feeling. All right, when you are done, turn and get back into the elevator. And press the bottom button. And watch as the door closes. And everyone knows the feeling of an elevator going down. And in this case, you're going to start to feel a little bit more dense, a little bit heavier. You can feel your physical body starting to reform around you, but it's a bit different now. Because as you go down, you're integrating the new energy. So at the bottom, when the door opens, step out and you find yourself in your current physical space. Take a nice deep breath. Make sure you're still grounded. Reinforce that grounding cord. Mhm. And now with this last piece of paper, if you can draw just a brief sketch of what your template looked like and write down the message. If you can't recall it right now, just allow it to drift in sometime during the rest of the day. When you may be doing something else or occupied with something else, the vision of the template may show up, your message may show up. But be sure to write it down. If it comes in later, write it down. That cements it into the physical. And trust and know that this template will be with you for the rest of 2026. Now, how it will manifest, we don't know. You know, this is not me with a magic wand, boom, and there you have your. I always say that to clients, I don't have a magic wand.
Are you sure? You're kind of magical.
Thank you, Angela. But just trust and know it will be with you for the rest of the year. And we've already talked about redoing this exercise at some point. And I've heard from a lot of people that they do. And as you said, if you feel like you've made a major shift, redo the both parts, the release and outcome burning and the template.
That's very good to know because a lot of people think you just do the template instead of doing everything leading up to it and
Mhm.
doing the whole process over because you're a whole different person. And I think that's very important for people to realize.
And you can do the list burning at any time during the year. Like I said, I do it for solstice and equinox. Or if you feel you already let go of a big chunk of something, do a list burning. Shamans are very fond of fire and burning things up.
I think that's also part of helping you to visualize and see it gone because a lot of times we work on it and it's non-physical things we're working on, but then to see it in a physical form to say, okay,
Yeah,
I'm seeing everything and I'm letting it go. So I think it's that physical human part of us that helps so much.
yeah. Well, and for me, as long as it's written on a piece of paper, it stays on a piece of paper. It doesn't
Mm.
go anywhere. By burning it, you send that somewhere, up into the ethers to manifest for you. In fact, I've had clients who asked if I think they should burn all their journals. And
Oh,
depending, unless you're planning on writing a book about your life, I say, well, yeah, why keep that stuff?
right.
In fact, I'm getting ready to sort through some of my notes from my Monroe Institute classes and other classes and just getting rid of it because it's just sitting there on a shelf. I know I'll never look at it. If it's something you wrote down and you will never use, don't keep it.
That's really part of uncluttering who we are. And some people, and my team is just showing me that some people will keep hurtful things from people, like letters or things that happened. And they're saying that if you have any of that around, this is a good opportunity to get rid of those because you don't need to continually bring yourself back into that old energy again.
Yeah. When my mom passed, my dad had already passed, and we were sorting through her things. She had saved letters she sent to my dad when they were dating,
Mm.
but these were not nice letters. These were
Oh,
you need to lose weight, you need to do this, you need to do that. I mean, they got married in when was it? 1949. And I was shocked. I didn't know she had all that stuff.
wow.
I don't know if she reread it. Um, And letters from him to her that were always poetic and gentle and loving, and she was coming back with these suggestions one after the next.
You
Yeah,
know, and that's something a lot of times people don't even realize, or they maybe know they have it, but they're like, oh, I need to keep it or to go something where it's not positive, or even, and my team is saying, this is a Christmas time and people send different Christmas letters or different things. And if you've had an issue or a challenge with someone, and every time you receive something from them, it makes you kind of go back into that old energy, it's maybe time to let that part go.
yeah. And I think that's another way the energy of 2026 will facilitate that. I think
Mm,
it's going to facilitate an awful lot of letting go, decluttering,
yes.
doing your list burning. You can do a list burning on a certain topic. It may be only health, it may be only relationships. But the energy of 2026 is really going to facilitate clearing all that stuff out,
Yes.
which is good for everybody. Mhm.
Yes, and that's something I've also felt too is it's helping everybody clear and move forward and like you said declutter, and you're seeing more and more coming out there of going through finding things you haven't used for a while, getting rid of them and moving, because when you release that, when you open up a space even in your home, in your desk or in your car, you have things you maybe haven't looked at for a while. Every time you do that, it allows that breath of fresh air. And then you can look for something else to go, oh, what suits me now for who I am now? And you're opening up a whole new space for who you are now and that new energy. And I do feel this 2026 is there's so much energy supporting us on so many different realms as we move forward. And that's something you also, when you work with the quantum healing, the quantum sphere, that's something you're stepping into each and every time is that new, improved almost energy that's constantly changing.
Right, right. And this year will facilitate that. Occasionally I'll watch Hoarders on
Oh,
TV.
yes.
Twisted obsession, but it feels so good to watch these people get rid of all this stuff. And in most cases, right after the show, they have cleaned it all out. I don't know how it goes, years into the future. But I think that's the theme for 2026. When I moved here from Colorado to Utah 6 years ago, I went from 2,300 square feet to 1,400 square feet. I had
Mm.
to address something almost every single day in those couple of months I was getting ready to move. And I actually brought some stuff that I should have gotten rid of too at that time. So it's a necessary process for a lot of people just to do that, but in a conscious way, you know, uh, in a conscious way with the framework of I'm lightening up. Do I need this anymore? Not like the people on the Hoarders show where everything has a value to them. That's not the mindset for this. Yeah.
And the self-criticism where you're criticizing yourself for having something and not going in with any of that self-criticism. It's what can I do going forward? How can I lighten my life? How can I make it easier to navigate? And, even just moving things out of the way makes it easier to navigate and easier to move through your home and through life.
Well, and lightening up, we're talking also about relationships,
Yeah.
maybe owning more than one house, emotions that you've been dragging along that are like heavy weights. Sometimes on a client, I'll see something that looks like football pads on their
Mm.
shoulders. And to me, that always means that they've taken on somebody else's burden and they're
Yeah.
hauling it through life. That's pretty standard. So all that needs to go, but the energy will facilitate that for people, make it easier. If we want,
And the thing is too, so many people are, they say empathetic, and they're people pleasers, and that's a lot of people listening here and people who are going through and changing their energy. A lot of them have been people pleasers and are full of empathy and feeling other people's emotions. And this is a time to know there is so much out there energetically and galactically that is here to help us release that right now. It is crazy, crazy good, crazy good.
Time to set some boundaries, people. That's, in every aspect of life, set your boundaries so you can be who you are.
And boundaries are healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy boundaries, not so my team just wants to clarify something when we talk about boundaries. There's people that want to create over exuberant boundaries, which are boundaries of control for others,
Yeah.
versus boundaries to help you have a healthy life, a healthy relationship. So it's checking your boundaries, but they're just so they're I'm asking them to kind of clarify a little bit. And they're saying some people who are very overbearing, they're saying that this is needed for their own self-being, for their well-being, and they're ex having high expectations of other people. And they're saying to watch when other people are giving you boundaries, ask if their boundaries are healthy or overbearing.
Okay. Good point. Yes.
Because if you don't feel good doing it, then it might be a little overbearing coming from someone else.
Yeah, it's all about knowing yourself, knowing yourself totally inside and out. And then it makes what we're talking about easier, relationships, boundaries, all of that. If you know who you are, what you stand for, and live that, then life becomes so much easier. You don't have to decide, do I accept that invitation or not? Do I go over to help somebody or not? Because if you know who you are and what you stand for, those decisions are always easy.
Yes. And that's what this is all about when you're helping people set that energetic template. It's helping them recognize and realize who they really are and really finding that calmness, that peace within them. So decisions do become easier, whether that's a decision to say yes or no to something or someone also. So it makes the decision making easier. You're not laminating for hours, days, weeks, months, years, and you're not bringing that through.
You said laminate. You la
Yeah. Lam Laminating.
I'm trying to think, okay, am I laminating something? Just keep
Putting
it.
things on more layers.
We're laminating, just like,
One layer after another. So what have you laminated?
oh my. Well, and I did want to talk before we go about the shamanic death rites also.
Yes. I think
That is
that's very important for people to hear what the shamanic death rites going forward.
so traditionally, a shaman of a village would be with a dying person and assist them lifting off and travel with them to where they need to go so they don't get stuck anymore. But in our modern society, we don't have that. I have never attended a dying person. I always end up addressing them after they have passed, sometimes years after they had passed. So with the shamanic death rites, um, I am happy to check a deceased, and again, this has to be a request by a relative, not a friend, to see if they got stuck or if they went to the light. If they got stuck, it means they are earthbound, they are a ghost. Now, if I track someone that is in that position, I open up a portal of light and send them through. If I am out, say, at a haunted property or somewhere where a ghost is there, I don't have to ask anyone's permission. I open up the portal and send them through. Now, if a person wants to go further with the loved one, I actually track where they ended up, bring them back into my healing room, clear off all the baggage, and then launch them like a rocket up to the level where they plan to come back. and I see as I'm waving my hands, there's a little hand
No,
go up and up.
I think you pressed a hand. Just when you were talking about those on the other side of Ghost, the hand went up. So I think it's pretty fitting.
Oh, that's funny. Uh, that was
I think I
so
think there's a raised hand on the bottom.
that's very strange. Um, and so I cannot get a person off the wheel of reincarnation, but I can accelerate their passage through where they would be dropping baggage or what is sometimes called purgatory.
Hmm,
Accelerate that where they can plan to come back much faster.
love that.
And that's I will send anyone to the light, no charge, but there is a charge for the death rites where I go through the whole thing, bring them back, clear out all the chakras, launch them up, track them. And so it's up to the relative how far they want to go with that. I've had clients call me within hours of the death of a relative.
Hmm, nice.
And there's a time frame you have to wait. I wait 3 days before I track them. And then if I send them to the light, I wait maybe another week or so before I do the death rites because our natural energetic tendency is to gradually drift upwards. And so they
Hmm.
need to find their location before I address them to move them any further. And so those are the death rites.
So how do you do that? Do they have to be in person? Can they do it on a phone call? How does that, or does it like on Messenger? How do you do it?
They contacted me by email and
Okay,
full name of the person, the date of birth, date of death, cause of death. And that's all I need. I need that information to find them. And then I need the permission from the relative contacting me to do the death right process. And then they get a report on the phone after. So if I do the whole death right process, I clear each chakra from the bottom up and I write down what is the baggage that they were carrying? What were their life difficulties that they carried beyond the grave? And I give that report to the relative who's asking.
nice. And
And
that you'll give back to them on with a phone call or
it's by phone, and they can
nice.
take notes on that if they want. Sometimes they want to tell other relatives. But I find that it reduces the grieving for the living and gives them peace of mind to know that their deceased loved one isn't stuck somewhere or floating around in a building or, wherever. So it's very helpful to the living to do that process.
I can see it would be very helpful to bring that closure, to bring that understanding a little bit more, and to know that you're all part of that process to help them move through that death and grieving process. So,
Yeah. And I love doing that kind of work. I wish I got more of it because that to me is real service to
yes.
help the deceased move on and get unstuck and move on.
And to help their loved ones to understand what's going on. I think that's important too.
Mhm.
So, and that's something I know sometimes you would teach people how to do that also. Is that also something you're looking at continuing to teach other people how to do it, or is that something you're not doing going forward? Or
Not
not sure?
sure at this point. Um, I wouldn't teach it here. Well, I live in Utah, and there, we have mostly Mormons, and what I do is kind of foreign to them. But I'm always open to traveling to another location if someone can round up a bunch of students. But from my experience, I've taught the death right process to people who have studied with me prior. Someone who wants to learn this has to have some kind of a shamanic background. They should know how to journey. They should be fairly visual because a lot of this you do by inner sight.
Right.
So there's qualifications. It's not for beginners, that's for sure. But anyone can learn to send someone to the light. You don't have to do anything special. Um, when I do that, of course, when I have the information to be able to find the person, I call them into my healing room. We'll have a little chat, and I open up a portal of light up by the ceiling.
Nice.
And sometimes I see deceased loved ones, pets, dogs in there. And I've never had one refuse to go to the light because I do a lot of chatting with them ahead of time. And then I kind of, with my hands, if they're not going, easily on their own, with my hands, I kind of grab them a little bit and send them to the light. And then that
Nice.
portal closed.
Love that. Love that. And it's interesting. As soon as so we talked about the people going to the light, and as soon as you started talking about the animals, your hand raised again.
I never knew this. I thought you had to push a button, to get the hand to go up.
Yeah, you usually do, but I think it's just going on its own.
It's the energy and what me waving my hands around and
Yeah, usually you have to press it. So it's funny because
funny.
those on the other side want to let us know they're here with us, and they do all they can to show us. And this show has been one of them where as soon as you mention the people on the other side, the hand went up and
And
you took it down, and then later the animals, and it went right up at the same time.
oh my God, that's never happened to me, I have to say. Oh my gosh. Well,
There's a
there,
lot of energy at play, and there's a lot of energy when people get together and talk. There's a lot of energy that comes in, and like Carla had said, she holds space for all of you as we were going through the setting the energetic template. And so Carla works with those on the other side. I work with those on the other side, and they're all here helping everyone listening, everyone here listening or watching. They're here. They're showing you they're here. And the hand raise. So for those who are maybe listening with just the audio, you might want to go back and check out the video to see the hand raises on its own. And I think both of your hands were in the air when the hand went up. Besides,
I tell you, the space has become really crowded as we've been going through this interview, Angela. I all around me. They all came.
there's a lot of energy, a lot of people, a lot of beings here.
Oh, that's so interesting.
But
I,
that's also part of knowing in 2026, we're not doing this alone. I mean, the people who are open to doing the work, you're here doing the work. But you've got a cheerleading team on the other side that are going to help every single person go through this 2026. And you've seen it today.
yeah, yeah. And that might be a little bit hard for people to understand, but we all have that support. We do.
Yes. Everyone. And there's so many people, and I don't know how if you've run across people where they're like, I don't know if I have, they call it spirit guides, a team, anything, guardian angels. I don't know if I have any, and everyone does. Everyone does.
Occasionally I'll have a client that says they live alone. I'm so lonely, I'm lonesome. And then I give them what you just said, the team talk, and that they've got somebody there all the time, whether they
Yes.
know it or not. And I hope that gives some comfort to people who live alone.
Yeah, and that's something so important to understand. Nobody is ever alone, whether my team is laughing, whether you're living alone because no one's living alone. You always have somebody there. Your house is more crowded than you ever imagined, in a good way, in a good way.
Oh, well, for people who sleep in the nude, I'm sure they're going to put pajamas on from now on.
Maybe you never know.
Oh dear,
You don't got to worry about it. You don't got to worry about it.
oh dear. Well,
Oh, but it's also having fun with this new energy. This new energy is playful. It's fun. It's not so heavy and dark like it was before.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for sure.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And it's recognizing, are there going to be things out in the that you may see? Things are going to happen worldwide and stuff like that. But when you're in a good space, when you have set your energetic template to be centered and to know you're on the right path, that stuff doesn't affect you.
Yeah. And again, it's how you react. Stuff is going to happen. And if you've been walking your path, you have the tools to deal with the stuff that happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That that's the biggest thing. How are you going to react? And even to think about, as you go forward, think of things how you've reacted in the past. How would you react differently?
yeah.
And be ready for it next time. Go, "Oh, I'm going to do it different this time." And my team is saying, "We're all here helping everyone."
Oh gosh. Yeah, yeah. More and more as I go along, I do get that sense of being supported and held and um being, the energy of beings around me. Sometimes I'll catch a glimpse of,
Mm.
maybe out of the side of my vision. So I know they're here. And it's very helpful to know that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's people that pass those in all different realms. And like Carla and I were talking earlier, we had talked about, yeah, we brought up like UFOs and like Bigfoot and things like that. A lot of those in other realms. And we were talking earlier also about and you talked about it in the template about this give and take. We're receiving from them, but they are receiving from us. This isn't a one-way street anymore. And for you to realize the importance of your energy melding with theirs.
Yes. Yeah. And once you're outside of, if you're high enough level outside of time and space, you're dealing with your future self also,
Mm.
your multidimensional self, you who may have been an extraterrestrial. It can get pretty darn complicated, but that's all you. That's all part of you.
Absolutely. And to enjoy it and be excited about discovering different parts about yourself. And like you had said, the extraterrestrial, and when you're talking with Bigfoot or Sasquatch, those are all beings we're interacting with more and more every day. I mean, look at, History Channel and all the other different areas on, YouTube. You're seeing more and more people covering this, getting information, having everything in front of you, the evidence of so many different realms. It's there. And they're showing us. They're showing us we're not alone.
Mhm. Yeah, I hike a lot out in the boonies, and I always hike by myself. And I kept thinking, one of these days, am I going to see a Bigfoot? In fact, I last summer I was hiking around a local lake, and I thought I saw something large and dark cross the path
Mm.
in front of me. And when I got up there, I couldn't see anything, but I still think about that. What the heck was that? Um, so it's for people who are outside a lot, but especially that Northern California. Well, there's Bigfoot everywhere,
Yeah.
but we're talking about David Paulides, and he did a project with Northern California, Southern Oregon, and mapped out all the Bigfoot sightings. Um,
And that's so important to see. And for people who don't know, can you spell his last name?
it's
Or do you not know it?
it's Paulides, David Paulides.
Ah,
His claim to fame is the Missing 411 books, where he
yes.
took all kinds of reports of people missing in national parks. Fascinating. When I lived in Cortez, Colorado, we had a guy go missing at Mesa Verde. They never found him. But then his original area of expertise is Bigfoot.
Nice.
Yeah, David
Yeah,
Polite. Mhm.
definitely have people check that out. And I'll try to put some of that information down below in the notes also. But this is a time of knowing, and I keep hearing like when you said you saw the dark shape moving, and they're saying you definitely saw the Bigfoot moving in front of you. And a lot of times, and my team just wants people to understand, sometimes you're only going to see this little glimpse off to the side, or and it's almost like you question yourself, what did I see? Did I see it? But the reason that happens so much is because if we were standing here and all of a sudden a Bigfoot stepped right in front of us, we would freak out, okay? As human, and our bodies would be going like, "Oh my gosh, this isn't what I'm used to," and it would go into a flight or fright. This way, by seeing them at a distance or little flashes, it's getting your body adjusted to going, "Oh, that's all right. That's not nothing to fear." So it's also adjusting your body with it also.
Okay, okay. Well.
You definitely have more encounters coming up. And for those who don't know, Carla goes all over the world, like you said, in the megalithic, in the, the energetic areas around the world. So she's experiencing a lot of that energy in all different parts. Even if you don't travel yourself, Carla's done the traveling. She's bringing that energy back and brings it back in all of her readings, and that energy is flowing two ways. So she's always changing energetically, and that energy comes through in her sessions too. So I think it's very cool. So even if you yourself aren't a world traveler, like Carla has been to those areas and is bringing that energy back with her and sharing it with you.
Yeah. And I write about it in my blog, and I do a lot of photography. So all the photographs on my blog are photos I've taken on my trips. Um, yeah.
And your photos are beautiful energetically, just beautiful. I don't know, can I show one or are they trademarked or
You can show it. You can
So here's one of it's in the thing. So one of these beautiful photos with the sunset. This is Cedar Breaks, correct?
yes.
Yes. Cedar Breaks,
Yeah.
and just beautiful. But Carla has an amazing eye for nature, an amazing eye with the camera for photos, and her blog she talks about so much. So if you're curious and you want to learn more and you want to understand more and hear it from her perspective, definitely check out the Carla Fox blog.blogspot.com, because it's definitely so worth taking the time to listen, to read, and to see the amazing photos that she has and her experiences as she's done so.
Yeah, I've written the blog since the beginning of 2013, and
Wow.
the trips I take are like you said, to megalithic sites, ancient sites, higher energy sites, and I write about all those trips there and my experiences, and try to relate people's, what they can do every day wise to tune into those kind of things. We were talking before about portals. There's portals all over the planet, and you
Yes.
walking along, and if you can detect a big shift in energy, you're in a portal. Yeah.
And that's something to understand. There's so much around us. And even if you're not picking up on everything, when you're listening to other people who are, like Carla's picking up on so much of the energy in different aspects, when you're hearing her stories, when you're reading her stories, when you're understanding it, you're also getting that shared energy. You don't have to be there to understand it, to share that energy. Going through someone else works too, works the same.
Oh,
And
and
that's something so key for people to understand and for you. And I can't wait to see. And I've got to say, Carla, every time you meet her, she changes every time in a very good way. In a very good way. She's still Carla, but energetically you can feel the shifts within her, and it's so awesome to see and feel those shifts as you are hopscotching around the world into all these energetic areas. So very, very cool. I am so happy to have you on today.
oh, wonderful. I change every time I take one of those trips too. So it's facilitating my evolution to go to, you know, I've laid in the sarcophagus of the king's chamber 4 different times. It
Wow.
now
And
that's
how does that make you feel when you're in there?
actually the second time I had an encounter with the Syrian High Council.
Nice.
The lady who was facilitating the group, she saw that too.
Nice.
Um, but
That's cool.
thousands of people go through there all the time. And it's more about the sacred geometry, the geometry of the shape of the pyramid. But I just know that I'm changed every time I interact with a site like that. It changes me in some way.
I
Yeah.
love that. And when you talk about the sacred geometry, it connects us all. They've got the seed of life and all the different geometric shapes, and it's there for a reason. We're all connected, every single one of us. And when any one person may seem like they're doing more than you, Doesn't matter because they are connected to us, all of us, on some level, and it helps every single one of us. So
Yeah.
everything you do on an everyday basis, a lot of people, we had talked before, like, I'm just mundane, just the mundane. No one is mundane. Everybody is adding to that energy and making a shift in a different. Be excited about this new 2026. There's a lot to be excited about.
For sure. For sure. It's gonna be a wild ride.
It is wild and fun.
Well, and then this is, this workshop is an annual event. So a year from now, we'll be maybe recapping 2026 a little bit to see how the year went and do the same process moving into 2027. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy to think about, but there's so many changes coming up and it's so quick now and it's so exciting to see what's next.
Yes.
Well, Carla, do you have anything else you want to say before we close?
No, I think we covered that and a whole bunch more, Angela.
That we did, that we did. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Carla, for being here, for sharing, for helping people to set their energetic template into this 2026. It's so amazing. And for those of you out there, make sure to check out more about Carla. Go on to the quantumstargate.com and also her blog, the Carla Fox blog.blogspot.com. And those links will be down below also. And I just want to thank you so much, Carla. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, to your time, and who you are, your heart. I love who you are. So thank you so much, Carla. I appreciate you so much.
Forward to this yearly thing, and I appreciate you inviting me to come on and sharing what I know, and then sharing the energy between us. Absolutely.
Awesome. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. And thank you for sharing all of this. And I want all of you people out there, I want to make sure to thank you all for watching all this episode. Went a little bit longer, but I felt this very much needed. But in case you miss it or you want to watch any of the previous episodes or the next one coming up, make sure to watch the next ones on Edge Talk Radio. You can watch them the first and third Wednesdays of the month at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you've missed any past episodes, no worries. You can go on to either my YouTube channel, Edge Magazine's YouTube channel, and you can watch this episode and all of the previous episodes are up there. So much great information, amazing people, and so much has been shared. And I want to thank every single one of you. Thank you so much for listening, expanding, and amplifying our universe together. Have an absolutely amazing day and 2026.